It's time for this week's Ask Tamily interview with Enjoy Tamily. Her name is Joy. She is our 56th Ask Tamily interview. Cannot believe that. And she'll be joining in just a second. So we should be connecting, and then we'll get started. Hello, Joy.
Hi.
Thank you for being our 56th Ask Tamily interview.
That's a lot of people.
It is a lot. So for Joy's interview today, for those of you that are watching, we're going to try a speed round style of interviewing and get to know her very quickly. And then once we go through the questions that are planned, we will check the chat for any quick workout-related questions for Joy as well. So are you ready to get started?
I am.
We'll see if I'm good at this style of interviewing. Let's start with when and how did you start the method?
So I remember watching. It was either E Entertainment or VH1, and I saw Madonna and her trainer, which was Tracy, and I was like, "Damn, I wish I had that kind of like trainer for me." And then years later, after my second child, I had been working out at home in our home gym, and I was looking for something new and something different. And right around Christmas time, I remember reading a magazine about Tracy Anderson, and I was like, oh yeah, she was Madonna's trainer. So I went on like Amazon, and I looked up her name, and her 30-day method came up. So I put it in my wish list cart with a bunch of other workout DVDs. And my husband bought them all for me for Christmas because he's the best. And I ended up starting it like a few days after Christmas, like right before the New Year's of 2012. So I officially say 2013 is my official like start date with Tracy, and I had never looked back. I just started. I started doing it. I saw results right away, and that was it.
What kind of results have you seen?
A lot of definition in my legs, like lines in my legs, lines in my arms, my abs. A lot, like, I always thought, like, for my entire life I was going to have cellulite. Just thought I was. And even that has almost completely diminished, and a lot more stamina, energy. My resting heart rate has gone down, and I didn't know you could do that. So
yeah, it's amazing.
Far so good.
How do you get and stay motivated to work out?
My clothes. I like my clothes. I like my size. I don't want to go buy a different size. So when I go shopping, I know what I can fit into.
Have you ever been to a studio or met Tracy?
Yes. So I met Tracy. I saw her one time when I was in the 59 studio, but I all of a sudden was like, I don't even know what to say to her. Like, so I didn't say anything. And then I met her earlier this year, finally in the studio. And then I went to my first Vitality Week in July. Oh, and I'm also drinking my Woofler Estate Rosé Cider.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. We should have asked what you were drinking.
Yeah, and so that Vitality Week was really fun. It was really nice getting to know her and getting to know her whole crew, and how a lot of advice, a lot to come away with. It's almost like you want to go back again because you feel like you've missed something. It's going to become addictive. Okay. And it only took me so long to get to Vitality Week is because I had like multiple kids and breastfeeding, and every time she had one, I was like, I'm still breastfeeding. Oh, I'm pregnant. Oh, so I'm done. So I can get to it now.
So you were at the Hamptons one in July?
Yes.
Awesome. That's fantastic. What would be your advice to someone that's new to the Tamily?
To first of all watch where her ankles and her knees sort of rotate, and the direction they're going in, and especially if you're doing the online streaming, look at it in the mirror. So when you're on your hands and knees, look at her reflection in the mirror to where her leg is going, and then your reflection in your own mirror to see if your leg is matching hers. And also be consistent and don't expect you expect your results over a long period of time. You might see some right away in the beginning, but then it's a lifestyle and a process.
Definitely. What's your advice to someone that's not new but they're not feeling motivated?
That it's probably the fact that something's changed in their lifestyle, whether it's something hormonal or maybe stress, and it's definitely not the workout, because she changes that every week. You can't get bored with it. I mean, it might be the music, it might not be your favorite one of the week, but you just know, like, the next week is going to be different. I mean, after doing it for so long, it's like, this might not be my week, but, there's at least 3 different workouts to choose from, at least 4, and I think that you need to really dig deep and figure out what is going to get you back on the motivation path. Is it, better eating? Is it something, your work? Is it stressful? So.
Exactly. What's something that you've learned from Tracy?
To really just enjoy your workout, have fun with it, and the just quiet the noise around you. What's working for some people may not be working for you. It may not work for you. As well as she talked about how different athletes, like, you can't go into a New York City Ballet performance expecting to perform like the New York City Ballet. You have to go and you have to take baby steps, and like a soccer player for these big soccer teams. You can't just jump in and be like, oh yeah, I can play soccer. You have to take it one step at a time to get to a higher level.
Exactly. Do you have any tips for doing TAM while traveling?
Just try to fit it in somewhere as best as you can, and don't stress about it. Just try to fit it in. Download it to your phone. Try to get something in, and if you're interrupted 5,000 times, something's better than nothing.
Exactly. Do you do dance cardio?
Hardly. I do it more in the winter. I keep telling myself, if I had Tracy's floors in the studio, I would do it more. Maybe. I would. I hope one day I will get those floors, and I will probably do it more. But it's more on. I don't want to ruin my joints.
Mm-hmm. Do you do advanced, intermediate, or beginner, or a combination?
I try to stick with the advanced, but it's more a combination, especially in the summer with the kids, and sometimes the time element. Sometimes I'm just not feeling well, or I spent the previous day like at all these sorts of things, so I'm tired. So like this morning, I was just tired. So I did the intermediate, and sometimes I'm time strapped, so I'll just do a beginner's or the multitask. And something's better than nothing.
Definitely, especially with all those options. Have you converted anyone to being a devoted Tammer?
Oh, I'm in the process. So one of my friends, she had she had surgery on her hip when she was younger, and she said that every time she would do TAM, it would make a funny clicking noise. So she likes it, but she just wishes that she could meet with a trainer and how to do some of those moves. Mm-hmm. But my other friend, she just started a few months ago, and I think she's really liking it. For her, she wishes she had a little bit more time to do the full hour class. It was like, once you start doing it, you're going to find that time. Exactly. And then another friend of mine says that she wants to start when she gets back from their trip in September.
Okay, fantastic. What do your friends and family think of Tam?
They think that she's a great lady, a smart businesswoman, very kind. my kids think that I'm obsessed with her, but I think what they realize is actually I'm obsessed with the workout, not necessarily her.
Right. What's your routine and how do you fit your workout in your life?
Okay, so I have 4 kids, and what normally happens is we like wake up, start feeding them breakfast, and either they get on the school bus for school or my husband takes them to camp, and then I do my workout right away. I'll drink my green tea, go upstairs to our gym. It's above our garage, and I will immediately work out, shower, and I get it done first thing in the day.
What's your philosophy about working out?
You just got to do it. It's kind of like the Nike slogan, just do it. Because if you can make all the excuses in the world why something's not working for you, or why, oh, she's skinny because of her genetics, or they have all the time in the world because they don't work outside the home, and it's like, you know what? You can come up with all the excuses in the world of why not to work out. So you just gotta just get there and do it. It's good for the mind, body, and soul. So just do it.
True. Where do you live and what do you do?
We live in Dutchess County, New York, which is in the Hudson Valley, and it's great because we're close to Poughkeepsie, New York, but we still live in the woods. And as a job, I'm a mom of 4, but I am the vice president of our library board, as well as the head of fundraising. We had a fire last November, so we got to fundraise for a new library. And I'm also on the town planning board, so I help make decisions about different projects coming into town. I'm my husband's assistant. And then, which can be kind of funny. And then we also have some family stuff that I also help out with, some family business related stuff.
Cool. What's your favorite color?
Okay, so I love green to wear, but I like purple to decorate in.
Okay. What's your favorite music?
I really enjoy rock and roll. I don't know if they call it rock and roll anymore, but I like, more of the rock. Like, I like, a lot of 90s grunge. I also like a lot of, like, techno, like dance music. Like, I don't mind Tracy's music these days. I think it's, it's kind of fun. Some of the songs I don't really like, but it quickly goes on to the next one, which is nice. And just anything that is very musically well thought out. I enjoy classical as well, and jazz.
Excellent. Tell us about your family.
Okay, so I have 4 kids, and it took me 8 pregnancies to get to 4 kids. So when people see me like, oh my goodness, that must have been so easy. No, it took a lot of work to get there. But my son Nick is 10. My daughter Leona is 8. My daughter Margot is 5. She's turning 6 soon. And then our youngest, our son Ian, he's 2. And they're all different personalities, and they're very active kids. They're with a babysitter right now.
That's fantastic. Leading right into the next question, what's your favorite drink?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I do like this Loeffler Rosé. But I have to say my favorite, like, if I'm going out to, like, a restaurant, I typically love to order a Cure Royale, which is like a Prosecco or champagne with a little bit of Chambord liqueur in it. It's great. It kind of reminds me a little bit of this, actually.
That sounds good. What's your favorite car?
So my husband, he's actually when I first met him, he was a professional race car driver, and at one point he was driving for a Bentley, and they let us borrow a Bentley car, and I thought I loved it. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. But then the funniest thing is my father-in-law let me borrow his Tesla, and I never gave it back. So he ended up buying one for himself, another one. So I love our Tesla. It drives so nicely, and I got a plug for our garage, and it's so easy. And everyone's like, hey, Nick, I love your dad's car. I was like, it's my car. I never gave it back.
Oh, that's so awesome. What would your last meal be?
Oh, I added this question to you guys because I always think this is like, what would somebody choose as their last meal of their life? And mine would be chicken fingers and french fries. Or if I had to go with a dessert, I would do like chocolate and peanut butter ice cream sundae.
That sounds amazing. What would you eat every day if calories didn't matter?
Chocolate chip cookies, hands down. I keep trying to find healthy ones.
Yeah, good luck.
They don't really make healthy chocolate chip cookies.
What's your favorite place to visit?
So, we tend to go to a lot to Barbados for like an island vacation. It's beautiful there, and the heat and humidity is great. But we also really enjoy going to Park City, Utah. So it's hard to decide between beach or mountains.
Yeah. Did you go to college?
I went to college. I went to Marist College, and that's in Poughkeepsie, New York. And that's how I eventually met my husband. Although he didn't go to college at Marist, but he's from Poughkeepsie, near Poughkeepsie, so that's how I met him. And I went for business.
Excellent. Did you enjoy doing this speed round interview?
I did. In fact, look at how much time we did. Like,
yeah.
Rock.
Yeah.
It's actually much speedier than I thought.
Yeah, I thought it would take at least 20 or 25 or 30 maybe. But so for those of you that joined like mid-interview, we did a speed round with Joy. And now we're going to check the chat for any other quick workout-related questions. I did see a really good one. Let's see, from...
I know, I can't see the names when I'm like this far away from my phone.
So Alexandra wants to know if you did TAM through all 4 of your pregnancies.
Okay, that's a really good question, actually. No. So my first 2 kids, my first one, I hadn't done Tracy, and I was really sick, and I used to do just traditional working out, weightlifting, lots of cardio, and I was very sick with him, like very nauseous through the whole thing and tired, so I barely worked out, and then I barely worked out after having him, maybe some cardio here or there. Then I had my second child, and I dropped all the weight. I only gained, I think, 31 pounds with my first son. I gained 29 pounds with my daughter. And after her, I struggled a little bit getting the last few pounds off, so I started working out again. And that's when I was like, oh my God, working out is really helping my mental state with being home with the kids. I have to fit this in. So I would just get at least 15 minutes in. Then somehow I found 20. Somehow I found 30. And I got 30 minutes in, and at least I tried to do it 3 to 4 times a week. And then it was like right before, at the end of 2012, when I started doing Tracy. And then I shortly thereafter found out I was pregnant with my third daughter, did her pregnancy project. And it's funny because I remember being kind of tired with her too. So some days I'd be like, okay, I'm just going to do the arm section of the pregnancy project. And then the next day, I would just do the legs. And then over time, I actually was, when I got through some of like the early beginning tiredness and stuff, I could do the whole workout. I gained 29 pounds with her. And then I lost all the weight shortly thereafter having her. And then I had I think 3 miscarriages between her and my 4th child, and I did the pregnancy project the first 1, 2, 3 months so many times. It literally makes me nauseous to think about having to do those again. It was just I can't. I think when I finally did get pregnant for the 8th time, and it was my 4th or 5th time doing the pregnancy project, I just skipped the entire first month. I was like, this is bringing me bad luck.
Yeah.
And I ended up doing really well working out with him because I was doing streaming. I joined up with streaming sometime in between, and I kept my streaming, and I was doing a lot of arms with the streaming.
Okay.
And I think I gained 31 pounds with him, and it took me a little bit longer to lose it with him just because it was my second C-section, and I knew that I wanted to go into it a little bit slower.
Yeah, that makes sense. You've had an awesome journey, especially through...
Yeah, I actually weigh the same weight that I did when I graduated college, which was like 15 years ago.
Yeah, that is amazing. Amazing. So I think that is our only question in the chat. If anyone else has any quick workout related questions for Joy, you can type them in now.
There were some other questions that I deleted off the things, but I don't really remember what they were.
Well, you can certainly share anything you'd like to share with us.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Something that I learned at Vitality Week with Tracy and her, talking about finding your own formula and things that work for you, and her whole like quieting the noise.
Yeah.
It was really really helpful for her to say that if there's somebody who's severely overweight, like let's say 500 pounds. You can't have them go and start doing a routine workout and expect them to see great results, enjoying the workout and having a good time. With somebody like that, you would expect them to do a 20-minute walk, and that's a good enough workout for them to start their journey. But yeah, if you take somebody who's an Olympic athlete and you tell them, okay, a 20-minute walk is going to get you your exercise because that's what's working for this person over here. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
So when you're finding your own formula, I never did any sports. I tried, just not competitive. I really don't care if I win or lose. My husband's the complete opposite. He definitely he's out there to win. But so me being like, I don't have an athletic background, and I see some ladies on Instagram being able to do these like crazy splits, and they're doing the whole attain with a half hour of dance cardio, and like that's great because that's their formula, and that's what's working for them to maintain the shape and the size that they need to be at. That's not going to be my formula because it might take me a few years to get to that level of athletic ability if I keep trying and pushing myself. But you also don't want to wear yourself out. So that was a really interesting takeaway from that I learned at the Vitality Week, and I wish that more women would focus on what's working for them, even with food. Like you can tell somebody, "Oh, this is what I eat for meal." What does Tracy eat? What does Tracy eat? What does she eat? What does she eat? Does she have this? Does she have that? It's like, no. Figure out what works for you, what you like, and what's going to work for your body. We're all genetically different.
Yeah, and someone else can't really tell you what's right for you. Like, you have to have those honest conversations and decide the level of workout for yourself and decide what's the right thing to eat for you. And that's really something that sticks in my mind about what Tracy said. Like, I'm here to provide guidance, but I can't do it. She can't do the work. She can't make the decisions. We have to be honest with ourselves and figure that out. If you know that you're at the level of being able to do attain, that's what you should do. But you don't want to, push yourself beyond your current abilities. You need to be okay with where you're at and really have that honest conversation.
Yeah, I find that interesting too because, it's like she wants us here on the Tamily, on Instagram to encourage everybody. Just be there, be a supporter, be a cheerleader. She doesn't want us to be on here comparing and, doing what somebody else is doing just because they're doing it and it's working for them. She wants us to just just be supportive and great, because the best part is just showing up and just getting the workout in, getting it done. That's the hardest part, and that's sometimes where you just need the support.
Exactly. We do have another question in the chat. Alexandra would like to know if you've ever had the TA poke, meaning like Tracy analyzing your body.
Not really, but kind of. So I asked about arms at Vitality Week because I still feel like, my arms have gotten a lot better since my last pregnancy, I have to say. But like, I still feel like sometimes when I go in the studio and I see the trainers and their arms are just so like so tight and they're not like flopping around.
Yeah.
So I asked her about that, and so she poked my arms and she was like, "Oh, your arms are fine," because she's encouraging.
Yeah.
And she's like, "If you really want it, you just have to be really consistent with your arms. Do it every day." And then she said something about dropping a couple pounds, but I like chocolate chip cookies too much to drop a couple pounds.
Exactly.
And I'm just being honest with myself. So it's like, okay, if that's what it is, and then I'm just gonna, forget about it.
Exactly. That's like a lot of things that she says, if someone is really into running and they want thinner thighs, she's like, you have to decide. Do you love running or do you love the thighs? Like, you have to make the decision. But you've got to be okay with that decision for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You don't, and it's for you and yourself, not what other people are telling you.
Exactly. That's like the evolution of this workout that people should get to. It's not about getting someone else's body or, looking like what you think the idea of perfect is. It's about being your best self.
Exactly. That's why I like it so much. That's why I continue to do it. And I think it's hard. I think the hardest part for me is getting other people to do the workout and joining and involving other friends, because it's like, I don't know how to tell them this is going to be good for you without being like, you need to work out. It's like so hard. And like some people are like, oh, Joy, you're so skinny, you must work out. It's like, yeah, I work out 6 days a week for an hour. Like, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do.
It's really what everyone needs to do. I mean, if they need to lose weight or if they don't need to lose weight, it's about being healthy. You have to have that movement.
Yeah, and it's not even necessarily a weight thing. It's just you got to get the movement for the circulation in your body. And I just started reading that book on How Not to Die. Is it?
Yeah, did she talk about that at the July Vitality?
She did. She read from it and stuff. It was interesting, and I got it. And unfortunately, I was just so tired last night. I only got 4 pages in.
Something's better than nothing.
I'll get through it eventually.
It looks like a pretty thick book.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely some excellent things to learn from that, especially that, we know you can't get everything from working out. You have to also have a healthy diet. But here, that aspect was huge to me.
And I also think a healthy lifestyle too. Like, I notice that when I'm stressed, all of a sudden it's like, wait, why do I have 2 pounds on me that won't come off? And then when I stop being stressed, when the kids go back to school, it all of a sudden just like disappears. It's like, oh wow, look at that.
Yep, exactly. It's everything you're taking in, mentally, relationship-wise, everything affects your health totally.
Yep.
Well, we don't have any other questions in the chat. Is there anything else that you would like to say to the Tamily before we conclude your speed round interview?
Not much. Just keep posting your workouts, supporting each other. I like to do little hearts because sometimes I don't have time to type. And just stick with it and figure out how it, how your formula is going to formulate into what's success for you.
Yes, excellent advice. Thank you, Joy, for being our 56th interview.
Yay.
Watch this for the next 24 hours on Instagram, and then we'll put it on YouTube forever.
Okay, great.
Thanks, Joy. Have a great
Thanks.
family. Bye-bye.
Bye.